Hello and welcome to TNL Season 4, Week 5. Unfortunately, Velocity Vipers versus Just Rotate ended up being a forfeit. That was going to be our first game of the day. So we have instead Smash Bros. Taking on Dutch. And we are about to get underway here momentarily. And yes, we are going to get underway here. And 8-0 Smash Bros. Taking on 3-5 Dutch as a flick comes through from Tube. Zane able to get the clear. And Stan's gonna just drag this down the field but lost control. Tube puts it in the corner. Frank with the 50, but it's gonna get knocked away. Frank pops it up. Frank looking for the double. Stan is there, able to clear it. Stan with a second touch. Tube's gonna clear it over to the side. Tube gets past one. That's an open net, but he doesn't have the boost. He has boost now, but Stan is there to clear it away. Stan pops over one. Can Tube get there? Yes, he can. Tube waiting. Tube fakes out one. Stan is just up. Stan looking for the read, but it's not going to go. Frank up in the air now. Frank off the ceiling. Frank tried to put it down, but again, Stan is there, and Stan is dead. As Tube flicks, and again, Stan is there like a brick wall. So far, Smash Bros. Cannot get past this Dutch defense. But this could be a chance. Zane is confused, just lost control of the ball there. Frank with a pass middle, but it's again going to get cleared away by Stan. As Frank going to pinch this one, Zane gets a touch. Finally, pressure is being put on Smash Bros. As Frank clears it away. Frank going to try and start that pressure. Stan again with a save. As Tube's going to pop this. Stan takes control. He's got no boost. He got the boost, but he's dead. Again, Frank pops this one down, gets a second touch. Frank with a pass middle to Tube, who puts it in. What a passing play from Frank, just barely gets the touch. And 2:47 left. And Frank's gonna get an open net and put it in. And Smash Bros. Are on a run now. 2-0, 2:43 to go. And Tube looking for the read, and he was able to get it, but the save comes through, and Frank missed. Tube just gonna carry this to the side. Dutch can take control. No, Frank is there, and it's 3-0 for Smash Bros. Here in Game 1. Smash Bros. Have been dominant for most of the season, sitting at 8-0. Looking to improve to 9-0, keep their undefeated streak alive. Dutch looking to try to squeeze their way into the playoffs with a win, potentially. As Frank's going to go for the air dribble, he gets bumped off so he can't get the double. as Frank flicks back, gonna make Zane awkward. Frank missed. As Frank misses the ball, Tube has space. Tube flicks. Stan gonna take control, flicks over one. Tube with the shot, and Zane is nowhere to be found. I think he went boost over ball. And yes, he did. He went boost over ball, and that's an open net for Tube. And 146 left here. Stan gonna go off the ceiling. Gonna take control now with the air dribble. He gets bumped, but he's able to get back to the ball. And Zane's gonna slot one in. 1:34 to go. That was a great bump there. I believe that was the Tube there. Deny the air dribble there, but it's not quite enough. As Zane gonna just back pass to Stan. Stan is awkward here, but he's still able to get the few touches he needs. He flicks high. Tube is able to settle it. He's able to save it away. As Zane trying to get this ball away, keep the ball away from Frank, as Stan doesn't allow Tube to shoot that on target. Frank with the bump. Almost an own goal coming through as Zane's gonna clear this downfield. Zane tried to take control. Frank, 55 seconds to go. Frank off the ceiling, but he couldn't do much with that ball. Zane just gonna clear this one downfield, maybe trying to get a consolation goal here as Frank misses the touch and Stan's gonna put one in. And it's 4-2 with 42 seconds. Frank, unfortunately, tried to take control in the corner and just got a poor touch off of his own back wall. And 42 seconds remaining here. Zane misses. Stan able to clear it away. Stan has no boost, but Zane is there. Stan gets the 50 against Tube. Zane decides to not grab the boost in the corner that could cost him later as Frank loses that 50 to Stan. Stan with the flick high, but Frank is there. And with 10 seconds to go, that's a pass middle, but Zane isn't there. That could have been a chance to start a tie. And Smash Bros are gonna win game number 1. There we can see the stats. As we get ready to go into game number 2. And here we go, game 2 underway. And Stan pops it up. Zane with a pass to the corners. Frank able to get a touch and trying to take control here. Stan is there though. Stan got a touch. Stan managed to steal the boost away from Frank. Zane gonna get demoed here. Frank tried to put one on target. He puts it in the corner instead. Frank with a 50 on Stan. Tube is there. Tube looking for the second touch. And that is really awkward. Stan is able to relieve pressure for a second. Zane with a touch. Stan has space here. Stan just gonna tried to get the 50 there, but couldn't get back to the ball. Zane takes controls. Zane with the 50. Stan booms this to the corner. Zane is there. Stan with the shot. It's off target, just wide. And Tube's gonna pop this one up. Tube trying to get a second touch, but can't. He's able to get the boost though. Frank on no boost. Stan on no boost. Stan has full boost now. Tube just trying to rotate back here one-on-one with Stan. And Tube just bullies him off the ball. Stan's gonna boom this downfield. That's an open net. Where is Frank? I saw him in the midfield there. What happened? Frank missed the boost and decided to go back for seconds, leaving the net wide open. And it's 1-0 for Dutch. And Zane gets it under one, shoots on target, and Tube isn't able to get there, and it's 2-0. See Frank's POV there. Got faked by Zane. And Tube gonna pinch it down. Stan gonna easily clear that one away. Frank bumps Stan off the ball though. Frank with a touch. Stan's gonna put one downfield, try to start this pressure. And Frank's gonna beat him on the ball. Zane catches. Zane trying to take control here. He gets beat by Tube. Tube passes middle. Stan able to clear it away. Stan pops this one up. Frank gets a touch. Couldn't quite get the second touch he needed. Stan on no boost. Gets a little bit of a poor 50 there, but Zane is there to collect with full boost. Goes low. Zane couldn't. Completely lost control of the ball, and Stan gonna get a touch, bumps Tube off the ball for now. Zane gets 50'd by Tube. Tube gonna put one off the backboard. Frank is there, but Zane is able to clear it away. Frank looking for the double, and he's able to get it. And there's 2:14 left, and Smash Bros are finally on the board. You're in game number 2. And with a win here, Smash Bros could potentially more or less secure the first seed in the playoffs as Tube gets it past Zane. Tube looking for the bump on Stan instead of passing it middle. Doesn't quite work out for him. Frank gets beat. And Zane missed. Stan with a shot far down. And it's 3-1 with 1:40 to go. Dutch. What a shot. And with 1:40 to go, Smash Bros looking questionable here in game 2. As Stan gonna get the sidewall read there just to relieve pressure for a bit. Zane gets a second touch. Tube with the 450, and that's an open net, and it's 4-1. What a goal. And Dutch, with 1:18 left, are comfortably in the driver's seat here in game number 2 as Frank flicks high, gets the bump, and Tube's gonna slot it in. Frank with a gorgeous flick. Chase the bump on Zane. Gets him out of the way. And there's 1:11 left. And Frank going to be awkward here. He was able to steal that boost. Tube got a poor first touch on the air dribble. But he's going to pass it middle to Frank, who puts it in. And now Smash Bros. Are down by 1. And Zane gets the 50. Stan is there, gonna take control here, has the reset, gets insta-challenged by Tube. Zane just gets the 50. Zane with a pass middle to Stan. Stan just pops it up. Zane looking for bumps as he gets tangled up with the posts. And, oh no! Tube forcing the own goal from Stan tried to clear it the only way possible there, and he ends up doubling it into his own net to allow Smash Bros. To tie the game. As Stan tried to take control, he got bumped off the ball by Frank. Frank somehow able to steal that boost. Zane just going to clear it to the side. 20 seconds remaining. Zane going to pop this one up. Tube able to clear it. Stan pops it up. Stan in the air with Frank. He's able to win that 50. Tube is awkward one-on-one with Zane. Zane just flicks high as he's getting chased. Tube dumps it to the left. Stan with a touch. Stan going to lose that. Frank trying to get control. Zane keeps it up. Zane with a pass middle to Stan. Stan with the shot. It's off the bar, and we're going to overtime. And here we go in overtime. Frank couldn't quite get the touch. Tube's just gonna put one on target, but it's off the post. Tube with a huge bump. Frank has no boost. Stan awkwardly saving that one. Tube puts one wide. Frank gonna grab the boost and get ball control here. Frank with a touch, able to beat Zane, but Stan is there to clear it away. Zane waiting. Frank is up. Frank gonna take his time here. Frank just pinches it on the ground. Stan with full boost. Plays patient here. Tube able to beat him. Can this be in? Zane with the save. Frank on target, but it's off the corner of the post. Could have been the game right there. As we are now a minute into this overtime. As Tube gonna pop this. No, he's gonna go low. He's gonna take it to the side, gets the demo on Stan. Frank with a gorgeous first touch. Frank looking for the double, and he gets it. What a beautiful play from Frank. Gorgeous first touch into the double tap. And Smash Bros, after a minute and 16 seconds of overtime, take game number 2. And we are about to get into game 2. TRL and Cool Cats are somehow in game 5 right now. And here we go, game 3 underway. Stan puts one downfield. Frank awkward save there. Tube with a poor touch, and he's able to save himself the embarrassment of an own goal. Frank gets a touch. Stan over to Zane. Frank booms us down the field. Stan with a touch. Free flip. Air dribble. Tried to get it past Tube, but Tube is able to clear it away. Zane with a huge miss. This could be a chance. But no. Tube looking for the sidewall read, but he's just going to get it to the corner instead. Tube over to the right-hand side. Frank with a touch middle. Stan gonna get demoed. Tube with a 50. Stan has to go across the net to get there, but he's gonna take it across. Stan just gonna pinch that. Tube with a shot. It's just high. Frank gets the 50. The pinch, it's not gonna be on target. Stan tried to look for demos there. Zane over to Stan, and it's off the post, and Zane is there to clean it up, and it's 1-0 for Dutch. And this happened in game 2. Stan with a reset. Stan pre-flip. Can't get the double as Tube was able to clear it away. Tube takes his time. Bumps one off the ball. Frank tried to do something fancy. Didn't quite work out for him. Zane with the 50. Lost it to Tube. Zane with a touch. Frank's going to have control and boost. Frank pre-flip. Frank with control. He can't put it in as Stan able to get the 50 to clear it away. As Zane just flicks over to the side. Tube gonna take control now. Stan is there though. Frank booms it downfield. Frank with a second touch maybe, but he couldn't get it. Stan just gonna have an open net, and Smash Bros overcommitting, getting a little too excited. And it's 2-0 for Dutch. .253 left. Here in game 3. Smash Bros looking to get the sweep here as Tube with the air dribble. Tube got the dunk. Frank puts it in. And Smash Bros are on the board in game 3. Tube with a beautiful 50, getting past both members of Dutch. And Tube gets the 50 and the boost. That Zane is there. Frank gonna clear it to the side. Stan is already up. Tube just pops that off the wall. Stan able to get free flip over to Zane. Frank couldn't do much after the first touch. Tube takes control. Tube waiting. Gets bumped off the ball by Zane. But Frank losing that 52. Missed the 100 boost. This is going to be awkward for him. He's able to get that corner boost finally. And the bumps coming through from Zane. Tube booms it downfield. Tube waiting. Couldn't get a touch. Tube with control now. Tube clicks high. Stan got a touch. Frank in the corner passes it. Tube is there to tie the game. With 1:44 to go. And Smash Bros. Once again having to crawl their way back. And oh no, a team bump from Dutch, costing them a goal. And that one's not on target either. Dude with a huge miss. Zane looking for the double tap here. Stan with the demo. Stan just puts it high. Trying to bump Frank off the ball there. Frank with the bump on Zane. Dude tried to get a second touch there. Frank gonna pop it up. Zane is there though. Able to get that ball away to safety. Stan passing over to Zane. Zane takes control. He's got no boost in the tank, and Tube is able to just barely get there. And could we be looking at another overtime as Stan gets the 50, the own goal. Tube is able to get there and clear it away. What a save. Stan puts one on target, goes low. And Stan gets the lead back for Dutch. What a play. 39 seconds. Stan gets the 50 there. Stan up in the air. Stan with a reset. 2 reset. Able to get past Frank, but it's not going to matter. Frank with the single touch there. Get that ball downfield. Overcommit from Tube. Can Frank get back to that ball? It doesn't matter because it's off target as he pinches that one downfield. 15 seconds to go. Tube missing the ball. Stan going to put one on target. This is all up to Frank now. Frank gets a touch, gets able to get past one. Stan booms it downfield, and Tube, and Stan's gonna put one in to seal game 3 as Dutch are gonna secure it. Massive overcommit from Smash Bros. And with 1 second to go, that is gonna do it. Game 3 goes to Dutch. Five saves for Tube in that game. Just the 2 overcommits right at the end ended up costing him the series, ended up costing him the game. Unfortunately, Zane waiting to ready up here. And here we go. Game 4 underway. Frank gonna go up in the air, pre-flip, looking for the bump on Stan, but Stan is able to clear it away. As Tube passes that middle, Zane gonna be able to, was trying to take control of that. Frank off the ceiling. Frank couldn't get a touch. Stan's up in the air now. Stan dumping it over to Zane. Very light shot as Tube able to pinch that one into the corner. It's gonna just and bounce middle. Stan able to clear it away. As Stan takes control here, Frank gets beat. Zane one-on-one with Tube, and he beats him. Smash Bros. Looking in trouble right now. I believe the only other time Smash Bros. Has been sent to a Game 5 was against TRL, and that was a brutal reverse sweep that Smash Bros. Had to pull off to keep their undefeated streak alive. As Stan missed, just gonna fake challenge there. Zane pops it up. Frank trying to get back to the ball, was able to stop Stan. Tube with the cuxer. Stan pops this up, goes low for the 50, and Tube is somehow able to stop that ball into the corner as Tube just pops this downfield. Frank gonna take control from the wall, dodges the bump. Frank trying to get back to it. Frank got the 50. Tube is up. Tube over to Frank, and what a save from Stan. Zane, excuse me, gets bumped by Frank, but Zane gets his revenge and bumps Tube instead. Frank is gonna put this downfield. Zane waiting. Frank is up, puts it low. Trying to get the ball passed, and this is awkward And Stan is there, and it's 2-0 as Dutch are fully locked in right now. Dutch currently sitting in 10th on the leaderboard, or in the standings. So this win is going to help them immensely. They are still going to need some help, but this could be a huge momentum swing to get them a potential spot in the playoffs, as Stan gets the 50 there. Tube gets the touch. Tube gets demoed by Stan. Stan was looking for more. Frank gets a demo on Zane. Frank one-on-one with Zane. Frank went low. Tube, awkward spot here. Tube gets the boost stolen from him, and Stan's just gonna back pass that. Frank got 50'd, and Zane is up. He's just gonna waterfall that. Tube with no boost in the tank. Really awkward spot for them to be in. Zane couldn't put that on target. Both members of Smash Bros are absolutely starving for some sliver of boost, as what a save from Frank. The game's not going to count it, but that is a save and a half from Frank to keep some hope alive for getting a lead back here. As Tube misses there, Frank's gonna put a shot on target, gets the demo on Zane. Tube doesn't have boost, just has to flick there. And Frank with a shot, saved away by Stan. Tube with the 50. Can Frank get the touch? He can't get the touch that he needed, and Tube's just gonna put it perfectly on top of Zane's car. And Zane is one-on-one with Tube, but it's off target. Stan is there though. Stan looking for the shot. It's off target as well. 50 seconds to go. Tube with the demo. Frank shot. Tube puts it in. Down one. Smash Bros. Beautiful demo play as Frank passes it downfield to Tube with 46 seconds to go. Looking to potentially tie the game here. As Tube loses that 50, Zane is up. Zane with a reset. Zane gets the touch, but that one is way wide. As Frank is going to dump it over to Tube, a little too far ahead though. As Tube gets the 50, Frank is up, but Zane able to clear it away. Tube gets 50'd, and that's an open net, and it's wide to the right. 20 seconds to go. Frank from the wall gets past one. Can he get the touch? No, he couldn't get the 50 on Stan. This is an awkward spot for Tube, and that's gonna seal game 4, and we are gonna go to game 5 as Dutch were able to put the dagger in here in game number 4. As Tube loses that 50, Frank just gonna touch this down. Try to recuperate. As Smash Bros. Looking like their undefeated streak is very much in danger right now. And TRL was able to secure the win against Cool Cats, putting them in a really good spot. As they were able to crawl their way back from being dead last in the league, and are now sitting, for the time being, in 7th. But that is also because most of the other teams haven't played their games. And here we go, Game 5. Smash Bros. Looking to keep their undefeated streak alive. Dutch looking to hand them their first loss of the season. Tube with the air dribble goes low. Zane is able to clear that one. Zane with the flick high. Tube gets a touch. Tube going low. Tube misses the 50 as Stan's no boost. Frank gets a touch. Frank with the musty. Frank gets the 50. Zane is there. He's able to pinch that away. Tube gets it past him. Stan knows he has time, decides to fake challenge. That's a bit of an awkward spot here. Stan gets demoed. Zane with the 50 middle. Frank is over on the other side. Frank pops it up. Tube is up. Tube gets the touch. Can Frank get there? He's going to put it on target and in. What a goal. What a play. What a passing play from Smash Bros. To take the first goal of Game 5. As Tube with that 50, Zane flicks high. Frank able to get the challenge. Tube just gonna dump it to the side. Stan with the touch. Ball didn't really move, unfortunately. Tube with the reset. Tube decides not to use the reset at all. Just gonna drag it. As Zane puts it middle, but Stan is not there. Frank misses the flick. Unfortunately, Stan just gonna grab the boost as Tube finally decides to challenge. Frank gets the touch downfield. Tube able to save it away, and the huge boost steal there as Tube has nothing in the tank right now. Stan with a shot, and Frank can't save it. I think Stan's car got in the way as he was landing back. Let's see this. No, he just wasn't fast enough. And it's a tie game. As Zane is gonna get control here. Taps it down. Zane dumps it middle. Tube one-on-one with Stan. Tube flicks high and it's in. 301. And with it's now 2-1, Smash Bros. In the lead for the time being as Frank's gonna boom that. Excuse me, Tube is gonna boom that downfield. Stan got a touch. Frank puts it a little bit wide. Stan is up, but its shot is off target, but that's an open net, and Zane's gonna put it in. Tie game. And Dutch, again, have been keeping pace with Smash Bros. For most of this series up to this point. As Frank wins that 50, Tube is going to take control. Stan jumps early as Tube goes low. And Smash Bros. Are going to take the lead right back. Stan gonna play patient here, knows Tube is up, just takes a low 50. Frank just gonna boom this downfield. Tube looking to get the read, didn't have enough boost to get there though. Frank with the huge beat on Stan, couldn't get a 50. Tube gets demoed. Frank able to keep the ball in the Dutch half. As Tube takes control now, one-on-one flick. Stan not gonna let that happen again. Stan takes control, beats Frank. Tube able to get control and the boost. And a huge miss there as Stan's gonna go in the air. Stan with the reset off target. Tube hoping that boost would spawn, but it doesn't. As Frank pinches that downfield. And a huge demo from Frank. But Tube again, the boost just will not spawn for him. Now it spawns. as Frank booms it downfield again. Smash Bros just handing the ball over to Dutch, just letting them come to Smash Bros, just forcing them to do something. As Frank takes control, Frank got the 50, that's gonna bounce out. Tube gonna get a 50 here as Stan beats him. Stan tried to go low but couldn't get back to the ball as there's 55 seconds to go. Stan clears it downfield. Frank is there, shot on target to seal it. Zane able to get the save. Tube gets a touch middle, but Frank decides to hang back. Stan didn't get the reset. I thought he did. Zane open net opportunity here, just gonna dump it. 25 seconds to go. And Tube clearing it downfield, 20 seconds left. Zane by himself here. Frank able to get the touch. Frank off the ceiling. Frank touches it down. And an open net opportunity to seal the game potentially, as they decide not to. And Smash Bros keep their undefeated streak alive and avoid a scare against Dutch.